Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Sam, I just wanted to tell you that last clip of us like cheersing with our hot chocolate makes me laugh every single time.
Was that right before or right after the hot chocolate came out of your nose?
Uh that was right before. I think we did that and then I like drank the hot chocolate and laughed so hard that it came out my nose. And then everybody was just like staring at us and being like, "What is wrong with these people?" as we're standing in the edge of Columbia Harbor House.
There's a lot of things. Good morning to my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and my mom, who are both on.
Oh, we
Morning.
love that. We love that so much.
Good morning. Becca's Books Magic is on, and good morning, Kayla Carpenter. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yeah.
It's our last week before Christmas.
That's
Crazy.
wild to me. I looked at my calendar, whatever the 11th was. I think that was like last Wednesday or something. And I was like, Christmas is in 2 weeks. And then I had this panic moment where I was like, I have bought gifts for two people, and that is all. And I have three siblings plus two parents. And then my husband has a sister and his mom and dad. So I was like, there are a lot of things we have to get done. And I don't know
Yep.
where we're going to do that.
It'll happen. Should we
It,
talk about the news really quick?
yeah. Yeah. Let's chat about the news.
Nothing too exciting. We're talking about the Disney travel agent news, of course. Um, there is Welcome Home to the Island tour expansion. So our lovely Polly Tower is finally, is it open right now or does it open?
Oh, it opens
Opens tomorrow.
tomorrow. So,
Tomorrow.
yeah, tomorrow. And I mean, when we were there for Thanksgiving, it still looked like there was a lot of construction going on outside, but we all know that Disney can like change things and dramatically flip them overnight. So I am really excited to see it. We're staying there in February and I cannot wait.
So excited for you. It looks fabulous in there. And then the other news that we didn't talk about last week was the 10 holiday activities for $10 or less, which I love.
Yeah.
Love that. On your DTA, we won't go through the whole thing, but on your DTA, under the news, there are 10 things for under $10 that you can certainly share with your clients that are going to be in the parks until or after Christmas. Some of these say January. So yeah, check that out. Some of them are Disneyland, so make sure you're looking at that too.
Yeah. Pay attention to what's where. That way you
Kayla,
don't.
I can't wait for you to get your planner either. I hope you love it.
We love a planner.
Shout out planner. They're sold out now. Okay. Um, MK,
Yes.
what are you working on today in your biz?
So I know we were talking for just a minute offline before we popped on here this morning. I typically spend first thing Monday morning, like the first 30 minutes to an hour, really looking at my schedule, what clients I have traveling, any like 60-day marks, 30-day marks. I tend to have meetings 60 to, or like 80 days to talk through dining. And then I have several other meetings. So I look through all my dates and stuff. I have a client that leaves tomorrow, actually. So I'm going to connect with her today. And then I'm really trying to just kind of wrap some stuff up so that I can take that weird week where like nobody knows what day it is between Christmas and New Year's and be kind of online if I need to be or want to be, but really take some time to spend with my husband, with our dog, with my in-laws and our family here. So, what about you?
Yeah, I have a consult call tonight. Super excited about that. I have um a new client that is totally new to the Disney World world. So yeah, those are really exciting to me, especially when people are coming in, never been, they really don't know what expectations they have. They don't know what it's going to be like. So that's like my favorite kind of client is brand new. Or my other kind of favorite client is one that have gone and they've been dissatisfied and they've had a bad experience, and I'm like, all right, I can turn this around. That's probably my favorite. And then the second favorite is brand new people.
What are some, I noticed you mentioned expectations, which I feel like a really big thing that we can do well for clients to help avoid that dissatisfaction piece is to help them set realistic expectations. What are some questions you ask during a consult call, but also during the planning process to help your clients set expectations and to help you gain a better understanding of what those expectations are?
So, of course, I want to know about the travel party, because that's really going to determine a lot of the different things about a trip and how patient the travel party is going to be. But I feel like the questions tend to confuse people. So, I like to go ahead and set expectations and be like, there are going to be crowds there. Even on the downtime, there's going to be crowds there. We're going to find ways to alleviate the crowds. We're going to understand these things that maybe you don't see in the commercials. One thing that I've talked to MK about a lot is that if you're a planner that does Disney vacations, you probably laugh at the Disney World commercials because they're so not like a Disney World vacation at all.
Yeah.
And there's like no people there. It's just your family and Cinderella's there. And I'm like, okay, that's a bit deceptive. Come on, y'all. Because there are crowds. There's going to be crowds there. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a thing. It's the reality. And so having our clients understand that when they go, it's not just going to be them and Cinderella. There's going to be thousands of other people around them at any given moment.
Right. And but I think with that, like that's one of the biggest services we can offer to our clients is one helping them set realistic expectations, which includes like okay, understanding that they're going to be crowds, but also to telling them things that they can like sharing insider tips and tricks and like our own personal experiences with those crowds and how you can do things to make that situation better. Whether that is having a lightning lane strategy from the moment you enter the park to, or like if you don't want to spend the money on lightning lanes, knowing what times to go to certain rides to avoid those crowds, knowing which parks to visit on which days. And yeah, you can research a lot of that yourself, but like it can take you 18 to 30 hours worth of time. And that's what we're here for. Plus, we're in the parks consistently, so we can give you a better idea because we've got more experiences to base that information off of than what you might read on a one-time blog. If that
Right.
makes sense. Yeah.
And there's a lot of misinformation, which I'm sure if any of you out there have been on any Disney transportation and just been a listening ear, you're like, "What? What?" Apparently, there's no animals in Animal Kingdom. That's what
And
MK
yeah,
and I
I
learned.
think that was our favorite one that we overheard this last time, and now we joke about it all the time, is that there are no animals in Animal Kingdom. That park is like 10 degrees hotter, which I do think that understanding like what makes the parks feel warmer or cooler is helpful, but that's something you can only gain by going. Now, to be fair, I do feel like Animal Kingdom can feel hotter, even though it's probably the same exact temp as the rest of Orlando at the moment. But it has to do with the pavement. And so understanding those things are things you're only going to know. Like, uh, for example, like ECV, doing World Showcase on an ECV, I know that I need a hat and sunglasses. I don't necessarily need that other places in the park, but there's like a glare that hits your eyes when you're in that World Showcase, and it is brutal. So just knowing things like that, but you hear misinformation all the time on buses. Another one that I still giggle about is when we were told that like apparently Disney just treats like poly DVC members terribly, but like, you know, I don't know. So there are all
I
sorts of
heard
funny things you hear about.
I heard one time, we were there around Halloween, I think it was last year, and we were on the boat, and we this lady said, "Yeah, they only do Halloween fireworks once a year, on Halloween night, and they keep the park open all night long. And I was like, wow, I did not know this. I'm like, where are people getting this? So us being the people to spread actual information and not misinformation is really important. I'll have clients come to me and they'll give me some of these things, and I'm like, does that sound true to you? Like, honestly,
But I think
does
it
it?
goes back to the whole thing of like, you don't know what you don't know, especially if you're new or you've had a bad experience. Because I think sometimes bad experiences beget bad experiences. So that's where you can ask questions like, does that sound true or accurate? And kind of like help people think through that themselves.
Yeah, and yeah, just being that person that you can establish with your client. If you have questions, please ask me. Don't listen to people on the bus that are trying to tell you there's no animals in Animal Kingdom. And of course, MK. This is MK. What? What'd you say?
Listen, I just want to be helpful because I think so. Like based on my experience started going with my parents when like they went through an experience where there was not a lot of extra information given, and I just was like, no, there's so much better of a way. So I think that's where we want to change the industry, is like there's such a good way to do this, and a lot of people, let's be honest, they have had bad experiences with travel advisors that specialize in Disney, and the only people that can change that are other travel advisors that specialize in Disney.
Yep.
So we can show people that there's a better way and show them that like we can be a tremendous asset and advocate. Advocacy is one of the big things we talk about specifically within my Disney niche, because I serve a lot of plus size travelers. And so like teaching them how to advocate for things like, hey, it's really uncomfortable for me to sit next to somebody on Tiana's Bayou Adventure because the seats are like, they're enough, but they're kind of squinchy if there are too many people. Can I
That's a
sit by
long
myself?
ride.
And asking for questions like, asking for things like that, learning to advocate for yourself. And we can teach you how to do that, when we work with you.
Kayla says it doesn't help when people spread misinformation on social media and treat it like it's fact. For real. For real. And I see some of these like groups on Facebook that are like funny, like it's kind of made for people that go to Disney World all the time and they know, but they'll say the most ridiculous things. Like the other day there was a picture of the castle and there was like smoke over it because they had just done the stage show, and they're like, "Oh, the castle's on fire." And I was like, "Don't. No, because people are going to tell me, well, the castle burnt down."
Yeah.
No,
I'm a member of one of those, and it's interesting because there are some times where I'll be scrolling through and see a post and it seems really funny, and I always do a double take to figure out if that's in a group that's actually that's like you said, a humor group that is, satire for people who are there all the time, or if that is like a group where someone's legit asking a question. Because if it's somewhere someone's actually asking a question, I can actually use that as a content piece later on to correct the misinformation online. And, trying to be Miss Helpful Pants over here, I can also just like go in and send a comment. And that's a great way to engage on social media, which social media is social. So we should be engaging with people,
right.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff.
So, other than the podcast that we are about to record right after this, what else are you working on today? Did you come up with your plan at all? Do you have a
Yeah, so I put up a new blog post Friday. I am very much learning that perfect is the enemy of done. And so I really wanted to spend like another 4 or 5 hours on it. But we had really fun plans. We went to a cocktail class on Friday night. It was an absolute blast. I made this like gorgeous little martini situation. Anyways, so I got that blog post done. I might go back and look at it. I can still edit it if I want to. But I'll probably be working on that some, building that itinerary for the client that I have starting her trip tomorrow. And then just kind of trying to work ahead as much as I can on email newsletters, blogs that I want going out. My cadence for blogs right now is every other Friday to drop one. So going ahead and getting a head start on my next one. And then I know I mentioned I've got that trip coming up in February. So as I plan my blogs out, going ahead and figuring out what content I can grab while I'm there in February as well.
Yes, that's such an important thing to do is before you go on your trip to plan your content. I was really bad about that before. I would be like, well, I'm just going to video like everything and I'll put it together when I get back. That doesn't work because
Yeah.
you get back and you're like, oh, well, I know for me, like for long form, doesn't work like that because you're like, oh, I didn't even plan to talk about this or this, and then it doesn't make sense. And I'm like, well, I need to do that better next time.
I'm in some ways the opposite because I really like struggle to be on my phone and driving. Like a lot of times when I'm on an ECV, it's hard to
Well,
do those
sure.
at the same time. So, and like when I'm there with my family or with other people, I don't want to pull out my phone. I just want to like chat the whole time. Like I love
Oh,
talking to
I
my
know.
yeah. Yeah, Sam's like, I'm trying to video this thing. And I'm like, well, let me tell you about 17 other things we should be chatting about right now. So I think for me, having that plan and being able to look at my checklist and accomplish all that first, or like in the course of the day, knowing where I'm going to accomplish it is really helpful so that I can be present those other times. And if there's something fun I see, or like I have an idea in the moment, like last time I got my husband to pull out his phone and B-roll, which we can talk about what B-roll is later, but like I just got him to record a bunch of random stuff so that I'd have it for short form. But having a plan is really, really helpful for me so that I can be present when I want to be present.
I agree. Okay. With that, you guys let us know what you're working on today. We'll be back on Wednesday, but we're going to be here at 8 because I have to go to the dentist. Yay. So, any last words, MK?
No. Hope
All
everybody has
right.
a great day.
Let us know what you're working on today. We will be back 8 a.m. on Wednesday. We will see you then. Bye.
Bye.